one of the things I want to talk about in tonight's podcast is the selection process that the toilet rat uses to get his nominees for various departments that he is running, like the king that he thinks he is. And a question goes with this. Does the toilet rat get his nominees from, say, academia? Okay, how about science? How about research? Does he get his nominees and advisors from the field of philosophy? Politics? The military? How about environmental issues? Does he reach into that discipline to find advisors? All right, diplomacy. How about diplomacy? Finance? All right, the answer to all of that is hell no. Where he gets his nominees is, wait for it, the Fox television sewer. And he's come up with another one. This Jeanine Pirro. Since the toilet rat got rid of Ed Martin, what to do? He needed somebody else. So he made some news yesterday afternoon. He said that Ed Martin had been fired and because he was facing too much opposition in the Senate, and that Trump's nomination of this Nazi now ended. And then the toilet rat quickly added that his second choice would be, quote, great, end quote. So within hours, it was being reported that the toilet rat's plan B was none other than, from the Fox sewer, ladies and gentlemen, Jeanine Pirro. And an awful lot of people responded to that report with the same four-word utterance. That can't be right. No. Anyway, this is how, well, it was right, but this is how NBC News reported it. Quote, President Donald Trump announced Thursday night that he is appointing Fox News host Jeanine Pirro as interim U.S. attorney for Washington, D.C., calling her, quote, incredibly well qualified for this position and in a class by herself, end quote. Trump made the announcement on his Truth Social, mentioning Pirro's previous roles as a prosecutor and a judge, and said she was currently co-host of The Five, which is one of the highest rated shows on television, end quote. Trump. So, as Steve Bannon, writing at MSNBC, points out, quote, in modern American history, a great many presidents have appointed a great many federal prosecutors. Not once, however, did a chief executive feel the need to justify the decision by pointing to the appointee's television ratings. Until now. Yeah. Oh, my God. Now, I guess, I don't know why I should say, in fairness, it probably should be pointed out, that Pirro does clear a very low bar, but she does clear a bar that Ed Martin, the filthy Nazi that she replaced, did not clear. Martin had no prosecutorial experience. He had no experience in anything except in his anti-Semitism and racism, which made his appointment to head one of the nation's most important prosecutorial offices rather questionable. But Jeanine Pirro actually did serve as a district attorney in New York. In fact, if someone were to look at her CV and exclude her work as an on-air television personality, Steve writes, she might even seem well suited for the position to which Trump has now appointed her. But the disqualifier is what Pirro has been doing when she worked for the Fox sewer. And that, the utterances, the shit that came out of her mouth makes her appointment one more by the toilet rat that's very difficult to defend. As Steve Bennett points out, broadly speaking, there are two key elements of Pirro's career as a television personality to keep in mind. The first is that she is as much of a sycophantic Trump loyalist as anyone in neo-fascist media. That's my word, not Steve's. But he goes on to say, quote, as the Washington Post noted after the president's announcement, quote, from the Post, Jeanine Pirro has long stood out as one of his most reliable backers, often taking his critics to task in stark and colorful language, end quote. Oh. Now, in 2019, Fox News found it necessary to publicly condemn anti-Muslim statements that Jeanine Pirro made. And when she made them, the toilet rat immediately jumped to her defense. Now, the other angle, as Steve Bennett points out, the other thing to know is that the toilet rat's lawyer's worldview appears to be rooted in a series of bullshit conspiracy theories. Way back in 2014, we're talking about Pirro, way back in 2014, she launched into a truly unhinged rant, just dribbling all over herself about Barack Obama. And she was suggesting to viewers that Obama, he was president at the time, that Obama was secretly training ISIS radicals somewhere, that Obama had a secret camp. Oh, my God. That prompted the website BuzzFeed to publish a memorable headline, which read, quote, is this the craziest rant a Fox News host has ever done? End quote. Well, maybe. Maybe not. Yeah, now this crazy freak, Jeanine Pirro, is now going to be the interim U.S. attorney in Washington, D.C. The acting U.S. attorney, the one who said that Barack Obama had a secret place somewhere, probably deep in the wilds of the south side of Chicago, where Obama, was training ISIS killers. Jesus Christ. Now, in the years that followed that, Pirro continued to peddle one ludicrous conspiracy bullshit theory after another. After the toilet rat was defeated in 2020 by Joe Biden, it reached the point where Fox Sewer felt the need to remove this crazy woman from the air. And according to court filings, one executive who oversaw her show at the time explained, quote, I don't trust her to be responsible, end quote. Now, all this shit came out in that lawsuit that the vote tabulating company, the lawsuit that they won, and won an almost $1 billion settlement against the Fox Sewer, which I doubt seriously has been paid. But as Media Matters website noted, internal Fox communications revealed by these court filings showed that her executive producer described Jeanine Pirro as, quote, a reckless maniac who is nuts, who promotes conspiracy theories and should never be on live television, unquote. What? Her executive producer, a reckless maniac who is nuts, who promotes conspiracy theories and should never be on live television. Well, now she's going to be live, the chief prosecutor in the D.C. DA's office, whatever the fuck it's called, U.S. attorney in D.C. She's going to be live there. Oh, my God. So maybe it's time to update the tally now of how many Fox sewer dwellers have found a new place to hang at night when they go to sleep. You know, they hang upside down to sleep in the toilet rats administration. Well, according to Steve Bannon, in January, the New York Times published a tally and found that 19 former Fox News hosts, commentators, on-air medical experts, producers, and other personnel who'd landed jobs or had landed jobs in the Republican administration. 19 from an organization whose sole commitment was to lie, distort, bullshit, corrupt what passes for news reporting in this country, and to unqualifiedly support a lying piece of human crap named Donald Trump. That is the mission statement, unwritten, but fully understood in the Fox sewer, that no matter what the issue is, take the side that leads toward destruction, distrust, dishonor, immorality, hate. And from this sewer, 19 of these freak bastards are now working in the Trump toilet rat administration. Huh? Hi, Truth Seekers. Mike Malloy here. You know, the Progressive Voices Network brings you commercial-free commentary from today's leading progressive radio hosts and pundits, like me, Mike Malloy, 24 hours a day. I'm not your typical old guy from the 80s or the 90s talk radio host, and Progressive Voices is not your typical talk radio network. It's a listener-supported nonprofit with no corporate control whatsoever over our broadcast. So hosts like me, Mike Malloy, are free to rant and scream and carry on about whatever we like. We're often controversial, but we're never boring. Weeknights, 9 p.m. in the East, 6 p.m. in the West on the Progressive Voices Network. Always progressive, always on. I'm Mike Malloy. Keep it lit.